there's a big difference between the different periods that we exist in throughout the generations, throughout thousands of years. The wisdom of Kabbalah was revealed by a person called Adam. We call him Adam HaRishon, the first man, because he discovered first this wisdom, this ability to come to the revelation of godliness. Hence he's called Adam, from the fact that he is come to being domeh, similar to the Creator in Hebrew. And that's why he was called Adam. Baal HaSulam writes that it's not just like that his parents, although they were not Kabbalists, called him Adam. But because from nature this rises to the desire of a person to be called, like he says, like Mount Olives or other places that were thought to be called Adam. And from this Adam we have the entire wisdom of Kabbalah. He discovered the first root. He passed it on to his students, which are called his sons. And that's how it continued and went until Abraham. As Abraham is the 20th generation of the students of Adam HaRishon. That's it. And all the people that lived before Adam HaRishon were not in attainment and didn't understand what's going on. But rather, from Adam onwards and his students were of attainment, Kabbalists. Yes? We can't hear?
What does it mean to err?
They eluded them in a way that it's not easy to reveal the Creator, but they can get confused. That's one thing. The other thing is that there's a certain scientific study going on here, and in this, there's several ways to go and to get different means for this study and to decide one way or another. And the Creator is not revealed before you to say, oh, you did this right or wrong, because the Creator is the nature. Elokim, God in Gematria, is Ande Ateva, nature. And therefore you need each time more and more delicate means to examine yourself to see whether you're operating correctly or not. Meaning there's also the investigation, the study upon yourself, also the critique and the scrutiny is on you, meaning there's plenty of places here to err. Other than that, there were periods where Kabbalists that wrote took upon themselves an obligation, a commitment to write in such ways that the simple people, if they were to have writings of Kabbalists falling into their hands, they wouldn't know how to read it correctly and wouldn't think that there's anything concealed in it and that they could engage in it, and mostly can get confused. The fact that someone just like that reads some writing of a Kabbalist, so he read words. So the thing is, there's a matter of the ability to deviate a person from the right way. Maybe he is advancing correctly, possibly. Maybe he's advancing not correctly. How can we, from generation to generation, direct them correctly? There's a problem. Adam HaRishon had a problem. First of all, he invented the alphabet and revealed these letters to the extent in which they're similar to the forces and the signs and symbols of the forces. Hence, every single letter and every part of the letter symbolizes for us a force in nature, in creation. He revealed all these things and revealed the language of branches and roots. And from it we have the beginning of the whole wisdom of Kabbalah. He did that.
יש משהו שעד בעל הסולם אנשים היו מטעים את עצמם והוא בא ואומר מכאן אני עושה סדר כדי שלא תטעו.
יש עניין כמו שאמרתי.
There is a matter, like I said, of writing only to those who have a tendency for it, an inclination towards it. They have a hand and foot in the wisdom of Kabbalah, and they can understand and advance. They have a point in the heart and a grasp through the point in the heart to the upper force, and then they can develop. So it's worthwhile for them to read the books and develop this way. But there are those who have no touch to this. They may have the will to receive, but not a way to know that they're advancing. And for them, they wanted to conceal the wisdom of Kabbalah. Whereas, when it came to the days of the Ari, he decides that from my days onwards, anyone who wants to study the wisdom of Kabbalah can, it's all open. He decided that, and that is true and right, and everyone accepted it. But they weren't nevertheless worthy, since to advance you need according to the writings that are ready for this. There are books that you can learn and understand something and advance, since there weren't always a Kabbalist teacher besides you that you can direct yourselves by him, or that can deliver you the connection through this connection. From the days of the Ari onwards, only books began to be published in the style of the Ari, according to the Kabbalah of the Ari. And these books were worthy for everyone, appropriate for everyone. And that's why it's written by the Ari, by his student, Malchu, Chaim Vital, and more and more, Baal Shem Tov especially, and his students, until this time, until these days, including Baal Sulam. Hence, from the days of the Ari onwards, they started to write books in order to help people enter the wisdom of Kabbalah. And since the days of Baal Sulam, meaning the beginning of the 20th century, he wrote such that truly it would be for everyone possible to read, and to understand what is written in these books. And also he placed students, and his son Rabash especially operated, my teacher, my rabbi, and this is how it continued. And in our times, we're already in a great archive of all the literature of the wisdom of Kabbalah that is needed, and in all the languages. And we are very joyous that we have come to a state in which everything is open before anyone. Yes.